Shabbat Shalom, L'chaim, L'chaim. This week's Torah portion is Pinchas, and it obviously contains the incredible story of Pinchas slaying Zimri and Cosby, to right the wrong, to correct the corruption that was going on in the camps. And there's also the other famous stories of Slavchad's daughters who speak up to Moshe and, voice their opinion, and the passing of the mantle from Moshe to Yeshua, which is an incredible time as well. And there's so many incredible stories in this week's Torah portion that I always like to try and think about what is the thread that is woven through all of these stories. Why did Hashem put them all together, and what's the message for me? And I think, all of these characters did something very bold. For example, Pinchas, through action, went and righted a wrong. And he did something that was incredible and very difficult to do. As well as Slavchad's daughters, they went to Moshe and they said, listen, this isn't right. Just because our father didn't have boys so we don't get an inheritance, that's not right. And Moshe said, you're right, let me go and speak to Hashem. And he came back, he said, as expected, you're right, and we'll fix this. And for me, that's where I take the biggest lesson, because I'm very much a man of action. I like to communicate, myself and show myself through actions. And my speech is where I'm lacking. It's something that I'm working on. So what I learned from Slavchad's daughters is, if you're ever confronted, if someone comes to confront you with something, there are many different ways to respond. Sometimes it's through no speech at all. Sometimes that's the best way to communicate a message, is to not respond and let the feeling be felt of what you're trying to communicate. Another way is to respond, but my issue is that sometimes I don't have the best response, and it comes off less respectful or whatever it might be. And so my lesson is really to learn how to respond in a respectful way that communicates the message I want to communicate. And I think, all of us in our own ways, some of us need to work on action, some of us need to work on speech. But I think as we enter, the Messianic era, which is the time of Malchut, which is a kingship, which is speech, well, it's something that we can all work on in some way. Either it's responding with respect and getting the point across, or it's not responding and not saying anything and just letting the feeling be felt, no matter how uncomfortable it might be. So B'ezras Hashem, all of us should merit to correct our meter of speech in whatever way we need to, and to refine ourselves and make ourselves ready for this era of Mashiach. Shabbat Shalom.